This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. But have a beautiful Toronto downtown background behind me, because I spent some time there at Fan Expo this past August, and my generally one of my favorite vacation spots. But folks, we're here to celebrate 45 years of Airplane. You know, wow, I would have been 8 years old in 1980 when that came out, but I didn't see it at 8 years old.
Oh,
I seen it later. But boy, I've seen it many times since, and boy, I love this comedy. And I've had uh, oh, why is her name blanking me? Ooh, just folks, just a minute, because I'm gonna click on Airplane and Internet Movie Database. I'm not blanking on my guest. I had one of the okay, folks. I have one of the past cast members on the show. Yes, Lee Bryant, that's it.
oh,
Played Mrs. Hammond. And had her on years ago when I used to do these at the station. Now I do these on Zoom because it's much more practical. Well, folks, we have one of the religious zealots on here today. This is the first time the religious zealot is being offered time to chat. Folks, she
who
came
knew?
highly,
Who knew?
yeah.
I don't know if I was religious zealot number one or two. Maybe I was the only one. I don't know.
Well, folks, she came highly recommended by Splat from the Past host Tommy Kovac. Folks, I give you the awesome, absolutely awesome Barbara Mallory Schwartz. How do you do, Barbara?
I'm good. I'm good. Good. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Fun being on your show.
Oh yeah. Well, you came highly recommended, and I was like, I gotta go down here and I gotta see what it says here about are you religious
Yeah,
zealot
religious
number?
zealot.
Just a second, we'll see.
Do I have a
Oh, it says
number?
no, it says number two. It says
Oh,
number two.
all right. Yes.
Jay, why didn't they let
I
you be
think I
number one?
remember, you know, that people will come up to me and quote me that line, the line that I did, which is like a flower from the Church of Religious Science. I think that was my line.
You still have those flowers to give out?
No, but I have the script.
Well, you know what you
And
can do.
actually, people thought that I was when I was filming. Even the producer came up to me and said, "Well, it didn't know I was in the movie. He thought I was just a religious zealot."
Well, you could always just pick random dandelions and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
well, I have with me, of course, Blu-ray of
Ah,
Airplane.
yeah. Well, how did you discover airplane?
Rentals years ago,
Yeah.
I'm 53 now, so
Uh-huh.
I would have discovered Airplane ages ago, probably back in the 80s, and I love this kind of humor, so it always gets me laughing. And of course, I have a little Christmas ornament too.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I get a
Oh my
Christmas ornament
goodness.
of Airplane,
Oh
and
my goodness.
yeah, and it's got Otto in the little window with his inflatable girlfriend.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
Oh
just
my
in the little
God.
windows there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I got this little Christmas ornament of Airplane. I always loved that poster of the airplane twisted in a knot. What a
Yeah, yeah,
brilliant advertising poster.
yeah.
Yeah. So I got that little Christmas ornament and I thought I should show that off on here because you know, you
That that's unique, actually. That's actually a very special thing.
yeah. Yeah, I saw that one day. There's one of the card stores here in Fredericton that sells Christmas ornaments and cards and stuff like that. And once in a while I'll see something really unique from various movies. And
Yeah.
yeah, it used to be, I'd start out by getting Marilyn Monroe ones, and then they just started expanding to various different things. I found this one of Airplane, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to grab that because this is just priceless,
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, can you imagine flying a plane like that?
So
I love
that
that
now
image.
that's actually very I've never seen an ornament from here.
Yeah. Well, this is the only one I've seen so far, but who knows? So, so I mean, I got one of Bluto from Animal House, John Belushi. So, I mean, they've got a
Oh,
lot of very unique,
oh, that's cool.
yeah. So I grabbed this because, like I said, I love that image of the plane tied in a knot
I
on the
know.
poster.
And like,
What a
who
brilliant
who
way to
thought of
advertise it.
that, right? I mean, who?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
everything's unique about airplane.
There you
Just
go.
yeah, everything's unique.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, before we get talking about airplane, I wanted to get a little bit of your background and what led you to get into the business.
Well, I'm from Minnesota
Hmm.
originally,
Hmm.
and I did theater in Minnesota, and I came out to California to go to school, to go to the Pasadena Playhouse, which was a big theater school. And then I came out and it closed. And so I moved into a hotel for women going into theater. It was a big, you see Stage Door. You ever hear Stage Door in New York, where young actresses would move in and live there and try to pursue their careers? Well, they had one out here in California called the Hollywood Studio Club. So I moved in there and then got an agent because I looked. I was 18, but I looked at that younger, so I got a lot of work because I look young and stuff, and just kind of started acting and doing commercials and things, and been doing it ever since.
Now, did the other actors as that stayed at the hotel, did they buy your religious flowers?
No, none of them were in airplane, but Sally Struthers lived with me at the Hollywood Studio Club, and her career, uh, has been great, but no
So,
one else has been in an airplane.
so how often, you mentioned, I think, before we started recording, that you still get people that come up to you and ask the quote the line.
Yeah.
How often does that happen? All
Well,
this time later?
once in a while, because if people know, like I belong to a theater company,
Hmm.
but so some of the members of the company will just kid me all the time, especially when he's like an airplane, aficionado, and he'll come up to me and just randomly say my line to me, wherever we are. But if people know that I'm in it, and then they watch the movie, because people rediscover the movie Airplane,
Hmm.
it's like that. People are always discovering that movie, which is interesting. So, and then if they know that I'm in it, then they'll come and they'll say that line to me. Oh,
You know
you were
what?
in.
You know
And
what's
and I have
funny?
gotten work. I've gotten work on other projects because when you go to my reel or my credits or something, they go, "Oh my God, you were in Airplane. Oh yes, we're going to put you in this."
It's interesting because to put my phone in flight here because if I don't, um, it's funny you say that because I had screenwriter Victor Miller on here 3 times,
Uh-huh.
and d the same year, 1980, he was a screenwriter for Friday the 13th, which came out that
Oh,
summer.
yeah.
He gave Airplane the ultimate compliment when I interviewed him. He said, he's happy with the legacy of Friday the 13th, but he said basically they were just ripping off Halloween. He said if it was up to him, he wish
Mhm.
he had have made Airplane.
Oh, wow.
That, yeah, he had said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah.
he was very proud of Airplane, and we actually ended up talking quite a bit about that film, So,
And
um,
also, I became very hip, when my kids discovered Airplane and I was in it. And I was very hip then, I said, oh, my mom. And I hear that my mom was in Airplane. It's
talk
kind of,
about getting cast in Airplane.
well, here's the thing. I knew the boys, I knew the Zuckers because my one of my best friends at the time was their cousin.
Mhm,
And they were doing a thing called Kentucky Fried Theater.
mhm.
And it was a show in LA, a very funny sketch comedy. And my friend was in it, and she called me one night. She was really sick, and she said, "You have to go in for me. You have to go into this Kentucky Fried Theater." So I did. I replaced her for a while, and then they saw me, knew what I did. And so when they were ready to do Airplane, they called me up and said, "Oh, would you do a part in Airplane?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." Of course, I didn't know what it was going to be at the time, because they were just writing it in the back room. Who knew? But and then I got the call and did a part, and yeah.
You know what's amazing? And I think Roger Ebert, I think, said this in his review. He said that Airplane is even greater than the movies it's making fun of. And
Oh wow, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And the thing is, it holds up because I'll go a while and then I'll watch it again or I'll see it again. I go, that because a lot of times movies are great at the time and you watch them later and it doesn't quite hold up. And
mhm.
comedy's more fragile that way, I think, than drama. But this holds up. This like and this has held up all the comedy all these years. Yeah, it still is funny. I've been to reenactments where they'll do a reading of the script. They'll get actors there, and do a reading of the script, and the audience just goes crazy, and they love it, and it still is funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and for different generations too.
Oh yeah, I love this
Yeah,
style of humor.
yeah.
And Airplane, 45 years old, which is amazing because you're 39, so I don't know
No,
how you pulled
hey,
that off.
really. It was
Well,
AI. They did AI so that I could look older to do it.
well, you're probably in better shape than I am. I'm 53, so
Well, I'm in my 70s already. So, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, but I'm just amazed how it just held up.
yeah.
And I still have it on my reel. It's interesting because I took a lot of stuff that I've done off because of aging and oh, I don't look like that anymore. But my agent and people say, don't keep Airplane on because it's so iconic. It doesn't matter
Yes.
how you looked on that. I think it's one of the first or second things I have on my acting reel
Hmm.
of that scene, because it's just so iconic.
Oh yeah, you should always keep Airplane on there because
Yeah.
a lot of those iconic films, it's like, wow, we can get somebody from Airplane in our movie.
And that's happened to me. I no, ironically, I took something off. I also was in something else very famous. I was in Helter Skelter,
Hmm.
the thing, and I played Squeaky Frome in Helter Skelter. I somehow don't have that on my reel anymore, but that was awesome. My gosh, I've been in two really famous things. Because
Hmm.
it was the original one, Steve Railsback and that
Yep.
Helter Skelter. Yeah. So,
Yep. Steve Railsback, I believe, was just at Chiller in New Jersey. I wasn't at that convention, but he was one of the
mhm.
people announced. I believe it was Chiller. Yeah.
Ah,
But but yeah, what do you think about this? 45 years and this movie is still quoted, still talked about.
it is.
Hmm.
Yeah. And people try to emulate the style that they did, and it's just not quite the same.
No.
I think their casting of people was so good. Everybody in that film. in an airplane was really so good for their parts, you know.
Well, you want me to tell you what the brilliant thing was? Is I heard rumor that originally they wanted Saturday Night Live actors, which, no offense
Yeah,
to Saturday Night Live, but
right.
I love the idea that they got serious actors to play
Yes.
it
Like
straight. And
like Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie
And
made a whole new career out of
yes, he
this.
did. Yes, he did.
Yes.
And you know, and that's not an easy thing to do, especially if you're known for that and your body is the other kind of acting.
Hmm.
And he was so, because he didn't try to be funny.
Hmm.
He did the lines like a straight person, saying these lines. I'm just going to say them like I would say them as an actor. Uh, and it didn't try to be funny, and that made it so funny.
Like before that, I think his correct me if I'm wrong, his biggest credit might have been Forbidden Planet. I could be wrong on that, but I know he was in Forbidden Planet.
Hmm.
And of course, he was playing it straight in that. But he was in I mean, he was in Prom Night the same year as Airplane. And it's
Yes.
funny seeing him in both roles. And it's like, it's hard
Yeah.
to look at him with a straight face anymore. But
Yes.
he,
Yeah.
but he embraced it though. Like right up
Yeah.
until his death, he was doing these kind of movies. I think he loved it.
And I think it was a risk for him
Hmm.
because, in retrospect, we said, oh, Airplane was so successful. But at the time, he didn't know. And he risked his career, um, playing, playing silly, or being in a comedy like Airplane when he
Hmm.
was known for other acting. And he risked that and then embraced it and had a whole nother career from
Yeah,
that.
I love the line, surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Really. And if you tried to be funny on that, it didn't work. It was just so serious.
Yeah.
So just saying it, Yeah.
Oh, I like it when he's introduced too, because they're looking for somebody to fly the plane. And he
Yeah.
goes, I think the person next to me is a he's got the doctor things in his ears. Like
Right. Well,
I
everything
always
was a pun. Everything was
I
a
always found it
pun.
funny they cut to that scene where something's going wrong in the cockpit and they cut to
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen. They got this woman's legs outstretched and he's got these things. It's like, what's going on in this plane?
Yeah. No, they did some stuff. I mean, what risk taking they did,
Hmm.
because it was just a little bit risque, kind of, just uh uh and then when they slapped then the whole nuns thing, and then they would slap that actress where they kept
Oh
slapping
yeah,
her.
Lee
Oh,
Bryant.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I had her on here back in
yeah,
oh, I forget what year. I think it was 2019, it might have been. But in there somewhere anyway, but she talked about that. And I gotta say, one of the biggest laughs about that scene is when Leslie Nielsen gives her that extra smack right upside the head,
yeah, yeah,
that one extra one. And she loved it, and of course uh she also made a whole new career just out of this movie. So yeah.
yeah.
But I
And
mean, yeah.
also this movie was directed by two people. Both the Zuckers directed it, which was an unusual thing too at the
And
time.
Jim Abrams.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it was like dual directing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they definitely they were brilliant. What was it like for you to work with the Zucker brothers and Jim Abrams?
Well, um, for me, it was great, because I knew them also on a personal level. I had known them before. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm at the director for the first time, or I've got on set for the first time. So they were always just really nice and sweet to me.
Hmm.
So I had a nice relationship with them before I went on set.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we talked about Leslie Nielsen. We could talk about the other great serious actors that they had in this, like Lloyd Bridges, for example,
Yes,
Talk about
yes,
a character that had I mean,
yes.
talk about a character that had a busy week planned, I picked the wrong week to uh quit doing drugs. I took the wrong week to quit smoking. And then later on, I took the wrong week to quit drinking. I took the wrong week to quit feminism and
Yeah,
I'm sniffing glue, and it just
right,
escalates and
right, right.
escalates.
Well, there's too an example of a very serious actor.
Oh yeah, he was in high
Yeah,
noon.
who just gave into, you know, uh, the script. And again, you say, all right, now we know it's successful. So, oh, I would
Hmm.
do that. But then it was risky for a very serious actor to take a role like that and let them be directed uh to come out with a very funny movie, serious,
Hmm.
silly
It's
movie.
funny because one of his sons, of course, is Jeff Bridges, who I loved in The Big Lebowski. And
Yes,
Jeff was interviewed by Howard Stern, and Howard Stern brought up the fact that Lloyd was in Airplane, and Jeff Bridges had said
yes,
that his father just absolutely loved doing this movie,
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And he even went on to do Hot Shots. So, I mean,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, I just love this, when Lloyd Bridges there is, nothing's changed. And of course, it has him in that position there. And of course, on the wall, the picture in the same position.
Yeah. It yeah, I think everybody loved they were so I mean, my experience and from everybody that I've talked to working on it had a really good experience working on the film. It wasn't like people screaming at each other, but Howard Cox was the producer, and I'm in the airport and I'm ready to do my scene, and I'm all dressed like I'm at. And Howard
Mhm.
Cox, who's the producer of the film, says to me, "So what are you doing here? Are you working in the airport? Are you?" I said, "No." I said, "Actually, I'm in the film." He said, "Oh, oh." I said, "No, I'm the religious zealot." And it was just so funny that the producer didn't know who I was. But yeah, it was. I think everybody had a really good time working on that film.
Oh,
They
I
they set
bet.
up a good atmosphere. They set up a good atmosphere. Yeah,
And Robert Stack, of course, went
yeah,
on to do Unsolved Mysteries. And,
yeah,
I love the scene where he's driving in the car and they get the rear view projection there. And you
yeah,
just see this large image of a bike crashing behind, that's bigger than bigger in scope.
yeah. They did such unique things, and because I remember. Okay, so my friend Mallory was also in the film, um, and they lived at my friend Mallory's house, the Jerry, and they would go into like the den and be writing this movie, this movie, and um, just saying, I want, and they were from Wisconsin, so they came out with like no connections, no, and they had this vision of this movie, and and it was great. It's just great.
And Peter Gray's Mission Impossible himself
Yeah,
as the
yeah,
pilot.
yeah. I mean, I think the casting was other than me too, but it was brilliant, brilliant casting of these people.
I think so. And you got some
Yeah,
very serious actors. Now I
yeah,
have
because
questions because
yeah,
you're involved of course in the airport scene, as a religious
yeah,
zealot. Now I don't know much of the background on the making of this movie. So was that an actual airport or a set?
yes, yes. It was
Okay.
the Tom Bradley part of LAX. So
Nice.
they rented that. Well, now it's the international part of the airport. So it was at the airport. We actually
Do,
went to the airport.
now, I've never been to LA. Do they
Yeah.
have anything celebrating that movie up there?
No, no, they actually don't. They
They
don't.
should.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the funniest things is when they say they were fighting each other. No, you go to this thing. Oh no, and they have the voices fighting each other. They get into
Oh,
this
that was
argument,
brilliant.
because that we're all at we all identify that being at airports and having the announcements and then you kind of listen. What are they talking about? What's happening here? I think that's so every time I hear an announcement at an airport, I start laughing, because I think about that part in airplane.
Oh, I love that. They're repeating the same thing, and finally the woman goes, "Let's talk about what this is really about. You want me
Yes,
to have an abortion?"
yes,
The guy
yes,
in that same monotone voice. Well, it's really
yeah,
the only love.
right. So every time I hear an announcement at an airport, I just think about airplane.
Talk about your costume that you were wearing in that scene.
I don't know. It just came from wardrobe. They just
Okay.
they just put that on me and said, "Oh, this is what a religious zealot would wear." I said,
Yes.
"Okay, Alex, yeah, that's good."
Yeah.
They didn't
And
make me shave my head like the other guys, though. Like,
I'm glad they didn't do that, but
yeah,
I'll tell you, those guys were always looking at each other happy, and
yeah, yeah. But you have to get the timing really right, be going
yeah.
between them and going to be, yeah. And then the extras, because I don't even know where they got all the extras, but they have all these extras and I'm not sure if they were some real people there or not. I don't think so. I think they were just
Mhm.
all extras. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Jimmy Walker had done a convention recently, and I saw a video of somebody getting I don't know whether it's a poster or a laser disc of airplanes signed. And of course he
Uh-huh.
was the one they had checking the engine,
Yeah.
in front of the windows.
Oh, and oh gosh, I can't think of his name. He became the crazy guy. He was like, oh, he did the play with me. And like his name escapes me now, but he was really funny. He was so funny in the play we did together too.
Well,
Kentucky Fried Theater.
yeah. Well, we had a great cast in this movie, of course, like even the cameos, like uh Cr Kareem Jabbar there,
Yes, yes, yes.
playing himself. And
That's
that's
right.
not easy to do, but I gotta say, it was awesome seeing him in the cockpit and this kid just tormenting him. And finally, he goes, "I'm Roger Murdoch. I'm an airplane pilot." Like he's trying to convince himself. And he
Yeah,
going, "My dad thinks blah, 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 blah." And you can
yeah,
just see him just getting irritated.
yeah, yeah. And you can imagine going to him, and saying, "Hey, would you be in this film?" And trying to explain can you imagine trying to explain what this is about?
hmm
I mean, how would you even explain that to someone? You know?
And he gives in the end because whenever he
Yeah,
suffers from food poisoning and they're dragging him out, he's got the
yeah,
basketball stuff on.
yeah. That's the thing, they did with such intellectual comedy and yet
hmm
physical comedy.
Yep.
That was such a melting of the physicality of what they were doing, and you can watch that film and pick up different things all the time, right?
hmm Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh that, that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I wanted to know because I know you're just in that brief part in the airport,
Yeah.
but did you get to meet any of the other actors in the film, or were you not around for any of that?
No, the woman who goes, she hands out the tickets. Mallory goes, "Do
hmm
you want?" Yeah, yeah. She's my really good friend. Yeah. But I wasn't, no, because we shot at different days. So
I gotta get
when you
Mallory on
shoot
the
different
show.
days, you're just usually working with the people,
Yeah.
unless you
I,
get different days, more days.
yeah, I'll have to reach out and get Mallory on the show. I think Tommy Kovac had her on, so there you
Yeah, he
go.
did. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tommy gets a lot more of these than I do because I work overnight, so I'm a cleaner.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I do overnight work, so it's I do these when I'm able to schedule them, and I always look forward to it. And I love the fact I could do, like, after the pandemic happened, this became my go-to way of doing these. It's so much
Sure.
more convenient, you know.
Right, right.
But I'm going to tell you my story with planes in general because I never flown in a plane until 2017. I'd never been in a
Wow.
plane.
Wow.
And what had happened is I was interviewing a Canadian actress, and she had just moved back from Los Angeles to Toronto because,
Uh,
she's from Toronto. And we got talking about travel. She asked what was stopping me. Of course, I mentioned all the stuff that I've heard and this and that. And she made me an offer I can't refuse if I make both The Godfather. She offered me an opportunity to assist her at a horror film convention in
uh-huh.
Toronto. I couldn't say no to that, you know?
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I was very, very nervous about the prospect of going in a plane and this and that. It's amazing because I'm glad I took her up on it
Yeah.
because it would change my life. Because as
Yeah.
somebody who's lived here my whole life and never traveled, I never planned on it. Somebody told me 10 years ago I'd be uh, traveling and stuff. I'd say you're nuts. And
Yeah.
I mean, she helped me also get a passport, so I was able to do the Chiller convention. But I remember the first time I got on a plane. Um, it was the last year my dad was allowed to drive. My dad's been gone since 2022. He had ALS for 8 years,
Mm. Oh my God.
Yeah. But I remember that first year going to the airport. My father and mother took me because that way I was able to leave my car at their place instead of pay to leave it at the airport.
Yeah.
So I was glad they were able to see me off. My younger brother takes me there now, but he uses my car then. But I remember I took gravel and all this stuff, and I remember getting on the plane and it's interesting how I reacted to it
Mm-hmm.
because after 9/11 and this and that, you get nervous about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I kind of look forward to flying now because I remember my reaction to the first time the plane was going and it was going slowly, and then it would go around that turn and then it would stop.
Yeah.
And then after a moment, it would start moving and it would go and it would go and it would go. And finally, you feel it lift off and it would go. And I'm surprised, but I got a rush out of it.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
start to,
exciting.
I start taking video now, and my mom hates those videos going way up in the. My mom says, "Don't do that," But I actually kind of look forward to flying. And there's a lot of times if I fly, I'll say, "Gee, I wonder who the staff of airplanes are going, staff of this flight's going to be."
Well, also, I think once you've seen an airplane, you look at planes and traveling a little bit differently.
Yep.
You kind of, I can't go through an airport without hearing those announcements be made, or think sometimes about just being in that airport and doing the scene and things, and being in the plane and all the silly
You
things
do
that
you do
happen.
you bring flowers for
I should. I probably should. Yes.
but yeah, that was where I took to it, and of course I landed on Toronto Island and Billy Bishop, and I was like, this was actually kind of cool, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't take gravel to go on a plane anymore. I just that first time I do take gum so that my popping of the
Yeah.
ears and
Yeah.
stuff. But outside that, I'm like, this is actually really cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I try to go to a couple conventions a year at least. Mostly in Toronto because I'm not a big fan of long layovers in airports, but
Yeah.
you know, but
It would
but
be fun to be. I have a friend who, she was in The Exorcist. She was,
Linda
and
Blair.
no, no, Eileen Dietz, and
Oh,
she does a lot of conventions and things
it's
for
funny
film.
you say that.
Mhm. Is that?
See that there we go.
Oh, oh yes, yes. And so she organized a Helter Skelter one that we did, but um, I've never done an airplane.
Well, you know what? I got this from her.
Oh, did you really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. I've had Eileen on here 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And I met her at Frightmare in the Falls a few years back.
Uh-huh.
And I've even got a little Pazuzu statue,
Yeah.
from her. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Eileen. I've
Yeah.
had her on here many times. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, she is awesome. But I ordered that from her and she said to me, she goes, she figured rather than her mail that out to me, she'd just give it to me at the convention. I thought, well,
Oh,
that's a great idea.
yeah.
Saves her from having to pay the postage to mail it out. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I love Eileen, and I've had her
Yeah.
on here twice solo, and I
Yeah.
had her on again with somebody else because they were promoting her and the director of the short film she did.
Uh-huh.
Grandma's Cookies, it was called. And
Yeah.
they were promoting that, so I had them both on together. So, yeah, I have The Exorcist. In fact, I've seen The Exorcist now 6 times in the theater.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and I would have been 1 years old when it came out. I did not see it at that age.
Oh my goodness. See, well, that's one too that just keeps going. It's interesting being part of something. I mean, I've never been a part. I mean, I've done parts in TV shows, but I haven't been part of a cast that's been on a long time running TV show. So
Hmm.
that's another thing. But when you're in something that's been famous, it's really neat, between Airplane or Helter Skelter, stuff. And it's kind of uh, I always think that's very neat, because especially like coming from Minnesota, I think I'm going to go be an actress. And then you're in things that are famous. Oh yeah, so that's fun. But Eileen, boy, yeah. So we worked together in Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
And
No, I love Eileen,
yeah.
and I did a little video with her at
Hmm.
Frightmare in the Falls as well. She had this big Pazuzu cardboard cutout with her, and but I love
Yeah.
Eileen. She is awesome. But nevertheless, even the young cast in this was great. Robert Hayes, you
Oh
know,
my God, yes, yes.
you
That
know.
went to they did a reenact they did a reading. Now there's a theater company out here. And I think maybe they do it every couple of years, or they'll do a reading of Airplane. And he was
Hmm.
there.
Yeah.
He didn't read it. He was just in the audience. And they introduced him and everything. Yeah.
Does he
Oh,
still
he's
have a
so perfect. Perfect
does
casting.
he still have a drinking problem?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Every time he went to take a drink, he ended up
Yeah.
drunk with his hands.
Yeah, I don't know. No, no.
That's what
I
led to my drinking problem.
Yeah. But he was again, he played it so straight. If you had a comedian in that part, it wouldn't have been good, right?
Hmm.
He played it so he was just an actor or himself playing that straight. And so that's what made it fun.
I love that line where Lorna Patterson sees him and
Yeah.
she goes, "Are you all right?" And he goes, I just haven't flown in a long time. And of course, it's a drug joke. He's probably killed more people than a slasher film villain just by telling his romantic story. And these poor people are just getting bored by it. They,
Yeah. Oh my God.
and Julie Haggerty,
Yeah. My
that
God.
voice. I love her voice.
That voice
Yeah,
is so unique. Yeah.
yeah,
So
love
unique.
her. And so many cameos in this as well, and yeah, and people point out some of the jokes you couldn't do today, but Jeepers, there's a lot of stuff they can't do today, and it makes comedies not so funny. So we need to get back to that. So
Yeah.
yeah. But Zuckers have always done some great stuff. Like, I mean, Top Secret was hilarious. All
Yeah.
three Naked Gun movies were hilarious. In fact, I even didn't mind the new one with uh, Liam Neeson. So
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. And he tried to do the same thing, play it straight. And I don't,
well,
if he was quite as successful
mhm.
at, but as Leslie Nielsen and them, but I thought it was good. I thought it was a good,
You know what? If they're going to get somebody to play his Frank Drebin's son, you know,
yeah.
and get somebody like they did made the right choice with Liam Neeson because he's somebody known for serious action roles,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
he's basically making fun of his own known persona, and he's doing
Yeah.
it with a straight face. So I actually didn't mind him. I thought he complimented.
And she
Uh,
was good too, Pamela Anderson.
I love Pamela Anderson in
She
the
was
movie.
good.
Yeah,
She was really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I liked her in the movie. I went to it and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, we don't want to go because it's a remake." And I'm like, "It's really not a remake. He's playing the son,
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So no, I enjoyed it and
Yeah.
kudos to them for their efforts. And yeah, I had a good time with the film. But
Yeah.
do you remember, did you go to the premiere for Airplane?
Yes, I'm sure I did. I must have. Yes. Yes. And I don't remember it very much. Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
Otto come and pick you guys up?
Really. Gosh, it's so funny. I almost don't remember that the big premiere that we had. I mean, I've gone to other screenings where the Zookers are there,
Mhm.
and they just won an award too. So it was a screening where it was like the best of the best comedic movies of a generation or two generations, and they won. Of course. You know.
Well, you know what? Airplane was the fourth highest grossing film of 1980. You know,
Yeah,
it was behind Empire Strikes Back. I mean, obviously, it's a Star Wars movie, so it's going to be hard to compete with that. And then you had 9 to 5, Stir Crazy, and then Airplane, and uh, and I love 9 to 5. Don't get me wrong, love 9 to 5,
yeah,
but I find here we are 45 years later. Yes, Empire Strikes Back is still being celebrated, but I think next one down that line, Airplane, you see brought up a lot. And I love 9 to 5, but I think
yeah,
Airplane's being brought up a lot more.
yeah.
The legacy of it is just
And I don't see it ending. I mean, I don't see like, oh, in another 10 years, people won't appreciate it. I think they will.
I think
I think
so.
they will. Yeah. We're about to introduce it to my grandkids. I'm there, I think because they were a little young and some of the things, but we're about to introduce it to them.
I need to ask you, because when you did the film and it came out, what did your what did your parents think of it?
Well, I think it gets funnier. I think they thought it was really funny.
Hmm.
you know, but sometimes it gets funnier when you look at it again with a
Yeah.
little more, you look at, oh, that's funny, and oh, that's unique. And then you let a little time go by and you look at it again, and then you appreciate it more, right? You sometimes a second look at something or the third look at something, you appreciate it more. Oh,
Hmm.
that was really good. Now, oh yeah, that was really funny. Because the first time you look at it, you kind of have to look at the whole thing. The second time or third time you look at something, you look at it maybe in pieces because you already know the whole. You've already seen the whole. So
Hmm.
that's already in your perspective. So you can look at it again and then you see the pieces. Oh yeah. Oh, that was a funny moment. That was, yeah, yeah.
What about your kids? What did they think when they first
Well,
saw
my
it?
kid, I'll tell you, no, I became you know, I wasn't just a dork mom. When it came, I mean, what came out, and I mean, when it's been shown, um, I just remember my kids bragging that my mom, and they still do. They still will bring it up to them, and say, "My mom was in this." That I mean, I was the cool mom after that. I was really the cool mom.
You're still the cool mom.
I am always the cool mom, but they appreciated that, that she was in something really cool. That's a
Yeah.
cult. Yeah.
What was your
I still
reaction?
get I still get residuals, by the way. I still get money from because it plays in all these different
Hmm.
things. So I can get everything from 4 cents to like $120. No, but I usually get like these $17 for checks because whenever airplane plays anywhere, being an actor in it, I get money. So I go, I'm still getting money. This is the gift that keeps on giving. So
What
it's
did you
good.
think at the time when Airplane became one of the top five highest grossing films of the year? That must have been surreal that it was that successful.
Oh, it was surreal because again, we had it was these guys writing a script, and then became this thing. Oh my God, I'm in something that's really famous
Hmm.
forever. That's the thing is, I'm on celluloid forever,
Hmm.
you know. So uh yeah, and the fact that it became that famous was I think we thought that it might be a cute movie, a fun movie, but it became this movie was something that I don't think we quite expected. Maybe
No.
maybe the Zookers did, but we didn't.
And it's funny because Airplane 2 didn't quite live up to that. And I think part of the problem was they repeated a lot of the same jokes. And
Yeah,
you need to you need to be inventive if you're going, which is why the Naked Gun 2.5 is still hilarious, even after
yeah,
the first one. Um,
right,
Airplane 2 didn't quite have that. Of course, it didn't have the team behind the original either, but
right,
still,
right, right.
you know.
So many times that happens. You want to
Hmm.
repeat something, even if I do an audition for something, and usually like the first time I do it, um, it's like that's the right one. If I try to redo it again, it's not as good. And I think that's what happens with sometimes film. It's like your instinct, but you do it the first time. If you try to repeat it, the magic, sometimes it just isn't there. It doesn't work.
Have you ever gotten to do the autograph conventions? Because I know of some of the other cast of Airplane have been at these.
I've never been asked actually to do one.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
unfortunate. Because I know
yeah,
Robert Hayes has done them, and so has Julie Haggerty. I haven't gotten to meet them yet,
yeah.
but I know they've
Well,
done
maybe
them.
because they were the leads and in it, but
Yeah. And of
yeah.
course, let's not forget Steven Stucker was so
Oh,
funny
that's
in
who
this
I was
movie.
thinking of. Steven Suck. Yeah, we were in the play together. He was so absolutely. He was so fun. you can't teach that also you can't teach that kind of crazy humor that he had. And that was him.
Oh,
But that
I
was
love
him.
that. I
He
love
wasn't
that.
making up. That was Steven, you know. But you can't make that up. You've got to have that in you, you know.
I love that. Lloyd
Yeah.
Bridges goes, Johnny, what do you think is what do you make of this? This? I can make a hat, a brooch, a pterodactyl.
I don't even know if that was in the script beyond, maybe some of it was in the script, but I think he just made some of that. He just made that up.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, yeah. I think some of it just came from him.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah,
so good in the movie, you know.
he was so good, so funny.
So
So,
funny, you know. Let's talk about Helter Skelter, you know, because I mean, t Tarantino had made Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and like with
right,
Inglourious Basterds, he took a little creative liberties,
he
but I'm
did.
kind of okay with the creative liberties he took, you know. I'm kind of okay with seeing a happier ending with Sharon Tate, which unfortunately we
Yeah,
never got in reality. One of the things I loved about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is when of course the stuntman played by Brad Pitt encounters these guys and he
yeah,
when the guy says I'm the devil, I'm here to do the devil's blah blah blah, and
yeah,
Brad Pitt's like, no, it was dumber than that. You
yeah,
know, it just makes him look foolish. But of course
yeah,
Helter Skelter is of course the story about Charles Manson and his band of morons, I'd like to call them,
yeah.
who yeah, I don't have much respect for him or the people that followed him, you know, but
It was
and
tragic, absolutely tragic, actually. And
yeah.
when we were filming, um, we were warned not to try because at that time, the Manson family was still active, they said, please don't try to contact anybody from uh, the film or from the cult. And our casting director got death threats and had to change her number and got death threats. And we actually filmed at Spawn Ranch where they
Hmm.
live, and there was a lot of guards and things, um, and interesting too because with Steve and I drove up to location together. Steve Railsback, and he's just a nice guy. And then as the filming started, he became Mansony, distance. He got into the character, but what a tragic
Yeah,
tragedy.
that was before my time, but still, you know, a horrible thing to have happen and I don't understand it because I mean, of course, we're just off the we've had a horrible last couple of weeks, you know, with Charlie Kirk being assassinated, you know, which I don't care what people say, whether you agree with Charlie Kirk or not. This was a father and a husband, you know. I mean, that was there's nothing about that and these people celebrating it online and then they're
Well,
complaining because they're being canceled
listen,
for it.
this no one should be shot. I mean,
No.
we live in a culture. If I don't like what you say, I'm going to get a gun and shoot you.
Yeah.
I mean, I did not agree with a lot of his stuff, but to shoot him, to kill
Yeah.
him because you don't agree with, uh, yeah, you
The
just,
one that really scared me, though, was the poor Ukrainian girl that got on the subway bus.
oh
Like,
my goodness.
this is a girl that just got off work, you know? Like,
No.
it's like, you know, and you see the look on her face when it happens, and I'm
Oh, she
like,
realizes that she maybe did. Yeah, no,
like,
it was, that's horrific.
that's very horrifying. So when I look
And the
at
thing
the,
is that we can view it now so readily, you know, and that's not good either. I mean, we need to be informed about stuff, but we can just view it, and it becomes entertainment, also.
I found that very scary because it's like, you get up in the morning, you're not planning for anything like that, and something like that just
Oh,
happens, and
yeah.
but I will say this, like when I look at the Manson family, it's like I don't know what gets into somebody's head where they decide, oh, we got to take a life. I've had
Right.
people in my past that I have a strong dislike for. I've never had desire to go that far. I tend to avoid stuff like that,
Well,
but
part of it is our rhetoric that's happening around the
mhm.
I'll get the political stuff. There's so
Oh,
much
it's
red.
bad here in Canada too. So
Yeah, it's the rhetoric about getting back and getting vengeance on people, and uh, it you know when sorry, but if we have a president who says, I hate certain people, what message does that what does that give people?
yeah,
So, and also at the time you have to understand with the Manson thing about the people joining his cult. These were
yeah,
really lost young people who are living off the streets. And I have a theory that we need some people need to have gurus and a lot, and he was a guru and they were going to follow him, and he was, you know so he took these poor kids were on the street and turn it into.
you
We've
know what
had
part of the
cults throughout
problem is?
history. Yeah.
Part of the problem is parental bonds that just aren't there. I was lucky. I grew up with a mother and father that
Right.
you were wonderful to my two brothers and I. I'm the middle kid,
Mm-hmm.
but I they taught me everything I know. And
Right.
when I look at the political situation now, I'm glad I work overnight, so I'm very limited to people I'm around. I come home and my cat greets me, and just
Yeah.
unconditional love from my cat,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But you know, I don't understand the Manson thing and like where it gets into somebody's head and but yeah, Helter Skelter, that especially that close, that was 1976. That wasn't that far from uh
No,
when
and
it
and I
happened.
and I was living when I got cast. Um, and this is really weird because I went to the casting office and I was ready to read for a part in
Hmm.
the movie. And the casting director and the director looked at me and they said, "Oh, yes, yes, you can do it." And I said to them, "What? Can I read something?" And they said, "No, no, no, we know you can do this." And I went out of the office and I was like crying, like I was going, they're not even letting me read for a part in this. And it turned out that I guess I looked so much like Squeaky Frome, and they had seen my work, but and so they just cast me from just meeting me.
Hmm.
And the cashier I became friends with her, talked to me through the years about that. So from just meeting me, they just said, "Oh yeah, you're going to be Squeaky Frome." But they had to change my name to Cindy because Squeaky was on trial for trying to kill the president at the time.
Oh wow.
She tried to kill Ford. So, and she was on trial. So they had to say, I'm Cindy, not Squeaky for that. You know, it's,
I'm looking at the cast here. I mean, you had Marilyn Burns there 2 years after, of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and of course, Eileen Dietz. You're still friends with Eileen, huh?
yeah, I mean, we don't talk a lot, but we're on Facebook. And then she
Hmm.
tried to organize a thing with us for Helter Skelter. Yeah. So,
Oh, I think she's awesome. I love Eileen.
but what I give her a lot of credit to do all these conventions, and she's made a whole career out of, you know.
I like doing the conventions. I have a lot of fun at them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've gone to
Uh,
them because my husband is associated with the Brady Bunch, so I've gone to a lot of Brady Bunch conventions.
I grew up
Yeah.
with the Brady Bunch.
Yeah,
It
so
was one of my.
I've gone to their conventions and things. Yeah.
I met Susan Olsen at Chiller.
Uh-huh. Oh,
You know,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, and Lisa Langlois, a Canadian actress, was the one that introduced me to these conventions. She was the one that invited me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went to Chiller when she went there. And it's funny because I was wearing a shirt with her on it.
Uh-huh.
And when I approached Susan Olsen, she said to me, she goes, "Do you know her?" And I said, "Yeah, she's actually a friend of mine. She's here." And she goes, "I went to acting school with her."
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I grew up with the Brady Bunch, and I remember
Yeah.
her little blonde pigtails, and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
she's heavily into animal rights and stuff. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so um, I get asked if every so often because I'm born in 1972, so I get asked
Uh-huh.
if I remember any of the 70s. Well, I spent my first 7 years in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
I don't have a lot of memories, but I remember the
Hmm.
Brady Bunch. I
Yeah,
remember watching the Brady Bunch at a young age,
yeah, yeah.
and Maureen McCormick and
I
all
just had
them.
dinner with her the other night.
Did you?
Yeah, she's really sweet. Really
I
sweet.
love Maureen McCormick.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Um, again, I hope to meet her at one of these cons, and
yeah.
yeah. But of course she was Shamasha Masha. Did she
Yeah.
still get that now?
I don't know if she gets it. Well, she's I don't know.
You had
She's
dinner with her the other night. The waiter come over.
I didn't know. I don't. No one recognized her. We kind of sat in the corner, but no, no one recognized her. She's going to New York to do uh, a little off Broadway play
Hmm.
in New York. So I forgot what it's called, but it's like two women reading this thing. So that's good. Yeah.
You know what? Like I said, I think it's one of the earliest TV shows I remember being drawn to, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, I grew up in Minnesota and I didn't grow up with any show business people or anything. So when I came out here and I meet people or I work with people, I'm still, and I'm in my 70s, always in awe
Hmm.
that I can still do this, that I'm still, I made a commercial a couple of months ago and I'm sitting there and I'm looking around. I'm in a commercial that people was like, I'm still in awe of the whole
Hmm.
thing. I it fascinates me still. Every part of it still fascinates.
Yeah. I need to ask about I never seen this film, but I was looking through your credits, and
Mhm.
you worked with director Ken Russell in a film, if I dare say the title, called Horror.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Ken Russell?
It's funny. I think there's one because one when it was fine. I always was treated really, really good. I've had, except for one commercial where the director was me, I have had great experiences with people. And at
Hmm.
that time, um, I was I was young and I don't know, it was always people treated me really good. I didn't have bad experiences. So yeah, so I was always treated really well for people. I had one commercial where and then I found out later that the director just yelled at everybody in this commercial. I mean, that he
Oh.
was known for yelling at people and stuff. And I say that when people study with people who aren't nice or so, just well, you can't help but get a job and you don't know. But otherwise, just run away. You just don't need that, you
Hmm.
know. But always people have always been nice to me on working.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you've been
I
in.
worked on something. I won't say what was it. I
Uh,
worked on something, and I thought, and it was really funny, and everybody said it was funny. And then I heard one of the cast members didn't think it was funny. I wasn't funny, and I look at the to this day, and I go, "That's funny." I don't care what that person said. That was funny, and I go,
uh-huh.
"Yes, yes, that's funny." So people have different sensibilities, what they think might be funny or that. But I look at that again, I go, damn, that was funny.
You were in a lot of television, and I can't get into every single title here. So this is what I ask people when they've been in a ton of television. I always ask them to pick two or three shows that they were in. What was their best experience on which show and why? You know, do you have any that stand right out? Because you were in a lot of TV, and I
I
recognize a
was in a
lot of
lot.
this.
I'll tell you a really fascinating thing I did. Well, it wasn't a TV. It was a movie called Johnny,
Okay.
and it was a true story about Johnny, who's still alive. And she was a very athletic woman, a girl, and she dove and she broke her neck and was
Oh,
a
yes, I know
fame.
this. Yes.
Yeah, and she's a famous painter actually. She
Hmm.
paints with her mouth.
Hmm.
And Johnny Erickson is her name.
Hmm.
And so I did the story of her life, and she was in the film playing herself. And I played her friend in rehab. I was one of the women in the girls in rehab with her. And she almost died actually filming because they reenacted her. She dove into the ocean and hit in her neck, and they put, and so she did it herself and almost died filming it herself. But it was fascinating working with her and her experience, and that really comes to mind, you know,
Oh, wow.
just working with her. Yeah, I ran into her at an airport the other day, and I ran up to her. She's, she's in a wheelchair and
Hmm.
stuff, and I said, Johnny, I worked with you. I worked with you in your movie, But yeah, so that was one of the most fascinating things. I think Helter Skelter was also really, really fascinating because we actually used the same police people that they used. And, they arrested us and, pushed us in, wait, this is a movie. Um, so that was really fascinating. Even, Gilligan's Island, I got to work, doing that. A fun thing,
I have interviewed, I've had Jeffrey Mark on here numerous times, and I
Mhm.
had him on here doing tribute to, he's an entertainer, but
Yeah,
he's also worked with so many people. And he was really, really close with Dawn Wells, and he come on here
yes,
and
yes,
tribute
I
to
know her
her.
very well. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And
She was a lovely person,
that's what I hear.
lovely. And I'll tell you who was really nice. Bob Denver to me
Who?
was Bob Denver
Oh, Bob Denver, yes.
was really nice to me. Um, he took me aside because there was a thing with the director wanted me to do something, and he had me do it a couple times or something. And Bob took me aside. He let me talk to you. And I said, "What?" He said, "You're doing really great. You're great, and just do what you're doing." And just it gave me a lot of confidence, because when you come in, and I've not been a regular on a series, so it's you go into a new situation all the time. So people who have worked together, who know each other, they have an ease with each other. When they take the time to be nice to people who have just come into the set, is very, we remember that,
Mhm.
So I remember, I can picture Bob coming to me and just giving me a lot of confidence. And, um, well, I worked with Shirley Jackson, when I did that. And she too, she said, "Oh, it takes a couple days," she said, "to get acclimated, to." I said, "Well, usually my first day is my last." And I said,
I love hearing stories like this. I would hear, you know, and I like hearing these stories more than the negative ones because you find out, like I've heard very positive stories, like about Robin Williams, you know, on
yeah,
set. He
yeah,
would never retreat to his trailer. He was always entertaining
right,
when he was out there, and I've heard that
right,
from two or three people.
right.
I've heard that Roger Moore was somebody that would always meet everybody right down to the person cleaning up the set, you know,
Right,
and
right, right.
and I would hear stories like this. I hear stories about John Candy would on a set would he would I've heard this more than once. He would ask you what your trailer was like, and he would make sure you had the best top-notch trailer while you
Yeah, yeah,
comfortable while you was there. I love
yeah,
hearing stories like this, you know. So when you,
yeah.
yeah, you
And it's
know,
so important because most actors, I mean,
hmm
are they don't work a long time, you know, on
hmm
things. They come in, they're jobbed in all the time. You know, you go, and it's very hard. I mean, I just worked. Well, I'm trying to think of the new the comedy. Anyway, I'll think of it. And so I'm jobbed in now. They've been working together for weeks and everything, and I come in to do a part. And it's like it's always going, it's always like starting a new job all the time. So when people are
hmm
nice to you, um, it's very important, very important. And I've had that mostly. Very few times have I've worked with someone who's been a jerk. You know, most of the time people are really nice.
Are you talking about St. Denis Medical?
St. Dennis, thank you, St.
Okay,
Dennis.
there you go.
They were so nice. Yes, they were so nice, you know. But again, they had all been working together and had a rapport with with them. And again, and it was a certain kind of, again, a certain kind of comedy that they do, you know. So I
hmm
go and I have to I hope I know. Well, I auditioned, got the part. I mean, it was just a part, um, but you just want to fit in, and you know, and everybody was really nice. And, yeah, so
And of
that's
course,
a
you were in Steam Room Stories, the movie, your car
yes.
wash lady.
Yes, that was very strange. Okay. Oh, is this sexual? I don't know. Am I doing something sexual? I don't know. You know, I think it is. Oh, you know. I
Well,
usually play nuns, so that's what, you know, like the young and the restless. You know, I did that with a nun with Alzheimer's, you know.
there you go.
Yeah. Oh my God, people who do soaps. There's so much to learn. I mean, the dialogue, you know, and I actually thought that they had dialogue posted. Maybe sometimes they do, but they just every day have to learn so much. It's intimidating, actually,
hmm
but kudos to them. But I've had really good um, working experiences, I must say.
Well, you know what? It's actually before I we close off, I wanted to ask you, got any upcoming projects that you're working on that you want to promote on here?
Well, here's something, and I've been doing this for 40 years.
hmm
I actually produce plays for children. It's adults performing for children. So I'm working right now. We are putting up a Jack and the Beanstalk, and we do it at our theater company. And we do it every Saturday, but we also do schools. I have gone into schools and done workshops with kids. And
hmm
I do it not to make them actors, but to give them more confidence in school and working together, which is really important now, you know. And I've seen kids' lives have been changed by participating in these workshops. But our plays are adults performing for them, but it's very participatory. And schools now have grants and they're coming and they're booking all these field trips and everything coming. So if you're in Los Angeles, starting November 1st, come to Theater West and Storybook Theater and come see our play. And you'll love it. The kids love it. Yeah.
Now, if Leslie Nielsen was still with us, he'd be one of the children in the audience.
Hey, we had Al Pacino bring his kids.
Oh,
Here's the
wow.
thing: we're in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
so all the actors have kids. So we have famous people all the time. So I remember Al Pacino sitting in the front row during one of the shows, and people come. I mean, there are actors who have kids that come to our shows all the time. All these famous actors come to our show.
That is great. That
Yeah,
is awesome.
yeah,
That is awesome.
you always, almost always, and if they're not famous, you say, oh, they're so so. Oh, they're on television. Always at our shows. Always at our shows.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent, excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any charities that you want to plug and promote on here?
Oh my goodness. I would say support there's so many. The Children's Hospital right now needs, anything with children,
Hmm.
um, especially like the Children's Hospital. I would definitely volunteer, support them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? 45 years. 45 years. Wow. And this movie, I guarantee you, it's popped up screenings in places. I'll tell you that, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm very, very, very proud to have been in it, and I'm touched when people talk about Airplane because it's a very, very special to me to have been a part of that.
And now it's an ornament.
And now it's an ornament. I'm gonna now when I go to Christmas stores, I'm gonna look to see if they have a. I'm gonna look for it.
Yeah. I don't know how long I've had this one, but when I saw it, I grabbed it. I was like, this is priceless.
Really?
Yeah, I had to grab it. So it was like in one of those little card shops, and of course, off the
Yeah.
sun. Yeah, yeah. And they usually have some really, really unique ones, that are movie theme based, and there was no mistake in that twisted up airplane front. I was like, okay, this is coming home with me. So
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. I mean, you do something 40 years ago or whatever, and it still touches people, you know, now.
Hmm.
How many people can say something like that? Like you create something that still touches people 40 years later.
Well, Caddyshack came out the same month as Airplane that
Yeah,
year, and
yeah,
I've got ornaments from that too.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's amazing because some of these movies they just keep uh finding new audiences. And I love that. I love being able to go back and look at some of these movies, and especially before I was born, and you see stuff that would be dated now, but it would be a thing back then. Like I gotta wonder what today's young people think of phones that were attached to walls. Like I grew up with
Well,
that.
my husband just worked on a project and the girl had to use a landline and she didn't know how to do it. She didn't know how to do
I grew
it.
up with them. Yeah.
Yeah,
The phones
yeah,
you go like this with. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yep. I mean, my parents at their place somewhere, they still have an 8-track machine. So,
Listen, I get though even setting up a Zoom, I had to have someone be behind me in case I can't get on. You know, it's like, and now we used to go in places to audition. Now it's these self tape things where you tape yourself.
yeah.
And I still don't know how to send. I have to have my kids send it for me. I can tape it. I have someone tape me, but I still haven't figured out how to send. It's so complicated to send it. So I have my
Hmm.
kids help me with that. The technology is like ah, that and the other they don't. I have a 13-year-old grandson. Just let me do it. Just let me do
Hmm.
it.
Well, they know about that stuff, so why not,
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. When you're talking about a legacy, though, I was teaching. It was 6 years. I went to Iowa, Denison, Iowa, and they were doing "It's a Wonderful Life." That's where Donna Reed
I have
grew up.
had the little girl who said that famous line, Caroline Grimes.
Yeah,
I've had her on the show. I
yeah. Oh,
it was
rings a
back when I,
bell.
yep,
Bell. Yeah, she came there, and I mean, talk about a legacy.
yep.
Yeah, I know the little guy played Jimmy, and my goodness, to be in something that has that legacy, wow,
Is the guy who
wow.
played Jimmy still with us?
Yes, he is.
I should see if I can get him to come on. It's it was amazing having Caroline. I do a lot of tribute interviews when people have passed away.
Yeah.
Like I've had Alfred Hitchcock's granddaughter on here. I've had
Oh,
Audrey Hepburn's eldest son on
wow.
here.
Wow.
And I love doing this because it's my way of making them part of the show
Yeah.
because obviously I can't interview them now, but it allows me to still celebrate their legacy. But how interesting, having somebody like Caroline Grimes come on here from It's a Wonderful Life, and like
Yeah.
what an important movie that is, So
Yeah.
okay.
We'd go to Denison, Iowa, and I would do workshops with the kids there. They had a scholarship program based on It's a Wonderful Life, and the whole town was based on It's a Wonderful Life. It was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Mhm.
What a what a great movie because it, I would see It's a Wonderful Life. I've seen it screened a number of times, and it just dawns on me, when uh, you get people that want to, have given up and want to take their own life or whatnot, and when Clarence the Angel, shows him what this life would be
Right.
like, what
Right.
life would be like if he didn't exist. I think
Right. Right.
one of the most powerful parts of that movie was when he shows the gravestone to his brother.
Yeah.
And then they look at the dates on it and he goes, wait a minute, that's not right. He didn't die then. He goes, he drowned in the ice. And he goes, no, he was a war hero, he saved all these people in the war. He said, and he goes, yeah, but you don't exist. Therefore,
Yeah.
you couldn't save him from the lake from drowning. Therefore, he couldn't save all these people.
Right.
And
Right.
I was
Right.
like, that just gets me every
Yeah.
time. It's like
Yeah.
how George Bailey saving him ended up. And I was like, that is so powerful to me every time I see it.
I think they should teach that in school. I
Yeah.
really do. That your life uh, matters
Yeah.
and it matters. And if you're not there,
Yep.
yeah,
So that's I think It's a Wonderful Life is one of the greatest films ever made, easily,
yeah,
And what a great message behind that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was good, really thrilled to be part of. I wasn't in the film, obviously, but just teaching in that environment and celebrating it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before I let you go, I have two things. Number one, would you mind saying your line from Airplane?
Oh, let's see. Would you like a flower from the Church of Religious Science?
What kind of flower?
Well, now I would pick daisies because they would be my favorite would be daisies.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And before I let you go, I'd love to get a plug for my show. You know, just state your name and mention that we're celebrating the anniversary of Airplane and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Oh, Python's Paradise. Okay. Okay.
You can write
Okay.
that down. That's fine.
I'm gonna write it down so I don't get it wrong. Okay.
Yep,
Great.
that's okay. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Python's
Python's Paradise.
Paradise.
Yeah, my DJ name is Python. You ready?
Mhm.
Go for it.
I am Barbara Mallory Schwartz, and today we are celebrating Airplane. And Greg Gilbert is a person who is the celebrator with us and has brought me on. And we are doing Python's Paradise, his podcast. And I'm so happy to be on his show. And he's great.
And folks, if you happen to see her at the airport, accept the flower.
Yes, please, please.
Accept the flower. Don't be a Robert Stack and bowl through them.
Yeah.
Barbara, I thank you so much for blessing me
Thank
with your
you.
time today.
This is fun. And good luck
Absolutely.
with everybody else. And
Well, you know what? Uh, I haven't got to do this as much this year, but due to my work schedule. But I've had people actually ask me, "Are you still doing your show?" And I was like, because I think it was 2022, I did 170 interviews that year,
oh my goodness.
and
Yeah.
that's my record. But I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still doing my show, but my cat won't get a job, so I have to work a
Yeah.
couple
Funny.
jobs to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you'll do it. Well, thank
yeah,
you for thinking of me. Anything at all.
absolutely. And acknowledgments to Tommy Kovac for connecting me. So
Yeah.
that was awesome. He's all the time throwing suggestions my way, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm always open to interviewing anybody from Airplane. Yes. Yeah. So
Well,
yeah. So he always tells me who's good and who he's had a great time with. So he mentioned you highly. So there you go.
oh, good. That's nice to know.
There you
Nice. Thank
go.
you.
Well,
Thank you.
God bless you, and you
All
have
right.
yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you too. Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.